Welcome, everyone, to a deep dive that's going to be pretty special, I think, today.
Yes.
We are going all the way to India,
Yes, we are.
to the Ahobilam Temple in Andhra Pradesh.
Beautiful Ahobilam.
Now, this is not just your average temple, folks.
No, it's not.
This place is packed
With
stories and legends.
and legends and devotion.
We've got historical accounts, ancient tales, and we even have inscriptions to help guide us on this journey.
And what's so fascinating about Ahobilam is that it's one of the Nava Narasimha,
Okay.
meaning it's home to 9 shrines dedicated to Lord Narasimha,
9.
each representing a different facet of his divine power.
Wow, 9 forms of Narasimha.
Yes,
This already sounds like a place where myth and history are totally intertwined
it really is.
in the most captivating way.
Our deep dive will take us right to the heart of it all.
Okay, I'm ready.
Just imagine the Nallamala Hills.
Okay.
A range so majestic, they are believed to represent Lord Adisesha,
Who's that?
the serpent upon whom Lord Vishnu rests.
Oh, wow.
Okay. And right in the middle of these hills,
Okay.
like a jewel in a crown,
Uh-huh.
sits Ahobilam.
I'm picturing it already.
Should.
Thick forests, waterfalls cascading down the hills.
It's stunning, almost otherworldly.
It's a place of immense natural beauty.
Okay.
And speaking of names,
Right.
Ahobilam has several,
Oh, really?
each hinting at a story from its past.
Oh, that's interesting.
You'll hear it called Singavel Kundram,
Mm-hmm.
Nava Narasimha Kshitra,
Okay.
even Panchakrosa Kshitra,
Panchakrosa Kshatra.
which means that all 9 shrines are within a 10-mile radius.
Wait, are you telling me we could theoretically visit all 9 shrines in a single pilgrimage?
You could.
That's amazing.
It's a pilgrimage that draws devotees from all over India and beyond.
Yeah, I bet.
But before we embark on our virtual journey to each shrine,
Okay.
let's uncover the meaning behind the name Ahobilam itself.
Yeah, let's unpack that.
What makes it so special?
Right.
Well, there are 2 main legends associated with the name Ahobilam.
The first takes us back to the iconic tale of Lord Narasimha's emergence from a pillar.
I've always loved that story.
It's a good one.
It's about the demon king, Hiranyakashipu,
Yes.
who thought he was invincible,
He did.
and his son Prahlada,
Yes.
who remained a devoted follower of Lord Vishnu,
That's right.
despite his father's, tyranny.
Yes. Tyranny.
Excrete.
And when Hiranyakashipu, in a fit of rage,
Yeah.
challenged Prahlada to show him where his god resided,
Mm-hmm.
Prahlada simply pointed at a pillar and said, "He is everywhere."
And that's when Lord Narasimha,
That's when...
the fierce half-man, half-lion avatar of Vishnu,
Yes.
burst forth from the pillar to protect his devotee.
The Ahobilam Kaifiyat, a historical document,
Okay.
tells us that the Devas, witnessing this incredible display of power,
Oh my gosh.
exclaimed Ahobala,
Meaning?
Lobat strength.
Oh, wow.
And thus the place was named Ahobilam, forever commemorating Narasimha's awe-inspiring might.
Wow. Talk about a powerful origin story.
It is.
But you mentioned there's another legend as well.
Yes.
Okay, let's hear it.
This one centers around Garuda, the king of birds, and Lord Vishnu's devoted mountie.
Okay.
Legend has it that Garuda performed intense penance at this very spot, yearning for a vision of Lord Narasimha, then succeeded, overwhelmed by the sight of the divine.
Right.
Garuda declared, "Ahobilam is Ahobilam."
Meaning?
Ahobilam is a great sustainer of strength.
Okay.
It's believed that this proclamation also contributed to the mountain being named Garudachala,
Which means?
the mountain of Garuda.
2 incredible stories for one incredible place.
It is.
I'm hooked.
You should be.
But I know there's so much more to Ahobilam than just its name.
Oh, there is.
Right.
Remember, it's a Nava Narasimha Kshatra,
9 forms.
meaning it's home to 9 distinct forms of Lord Narasimha,
Okay.
each with its own unique story, symbolism, and spiritual significance.
Okay, 9 forms.
I know.
Now I'm really intrigued.
You should be.
Lead the way. I'm ready to delve deeper into the heart of Ahobilam.
Let's go. All right, so let's begin our pilgrimage, shall we?
Yes.
Imagine yourself in Lower Ahobilam,
Okay,
surrounded by lush greenery and the sound of flowing water.
lovely.
Here we find the temple of Prahlada Varada Narasimha Swami.
Prahlada Varada, does that mean blessing?
You're exactly right.
Okay.
This form represents Narasimha's benevolent aspect, his unwavering protection of his devotees.
It's a nice reminder that even in the face of, immense challenges, like unwavering faith can move mountains.
It can.
What else awaits us in Lower Ahobilam?
Well, not too far from there, you'll discover the Lakshmi Narasimha Swami Temple.
Okay.
This shrine is especially interesting because it houses some fascinating Utsava Vigrahas.
Utsava Vigrahas.
Processional deities used during festivals.
Oh, yeah, I've seen those in pictures. They're often incredibly ornate and beautiful.
They are.
Yeah.
And here you'll find Utsava Vigrahas of Pavana Narasimha and another Prahlada Varada. But the one that truly captures the imagination is the Utsava Vigraha, depicting the slaying of Hiranyakashipu.
Oh, wow.
It's quite the dramatic depiction.
What is B?
It is.
Yeah.
This 10-armed Narasimha, known as Samhara Murthy,
Okay.
the destroyer of evil,
Right.
is shown holding Hiranyakashipu down, tearing open his stomach,
Oh, my gosh.
and even drinking the demon's blood.
Oh, wow.
It's a powerful reminder of the consequences of ego and tyranny.
It sounds intense and incredibly detailed.
It is.
Now, I'm curious to see what other forms of Narasimha we'll encounter as we continue our journey.
Well, next we journey to a hill near the Bhargava Tirtham, a sacred pond.
Mm-hmm.
Nestled there, you'll find the shrine of Bhargava Narasimha Swami.
Okay.
This form is connected to the sage Bhargava Rama and his deep penance.
So each shrine not only features a different form of Narasimha, but also connects to specific stories and teachings.
It does.
I'm starting to see how Ahobilam is like a living, breathing tapestry woven from myth, history, and spirituality.
That's a beautiful way to put it. And as we continue our pilgrimage, we encounter Yogananda Narasimha Swami, who, as his name suggests, is depicted teaching the ancient practice of yoga to Prahlada.
Teaching yoga, that's a side of Narasimha I hadn't considered before.
It's there.
Right.
It highlights the importance of self-discipline, inner peace, and the connection between the physical and spiritual realms.
Right.
And not far from Yogananda Narasimha, you'll find Chatravata Narasimha Swami.
Okay.
Sheltered under a peepal tree, its branches forming a natural umbrella or chhatra.
Wow. So many unique and fascinating aspects of Narasimha are being revealed to us. I'm eager to reach Upper Ahobilam. What awaits us there?
Upper Ahobilam holds a special significance.
Okay.
It's where you'll find the main deity housed in a cave.
Okay.
And this is no ordinary idol. It's a Swayambhu idol, meaning it's believed to have self-manifested within the cave.
Self-manifested. That's incredible.
It is.
I've heard that such idols are considered to be incredibly powerful.
They are.
Okay.
It's as if the divine chose this very spot to reside, imbuing it with an energy that's palpable to those who visit.
Yeah, I bet.
And within the same cave, you'll also find shrines dedicated to Sudarshana Vishnu's celestial discus and Chenchu Lakshmi.
Chenchu Lakshmi. Finally, we get to learn about Lord Narasimha's Chenchu bride.
Yes.
What's the story there?
Well, local legends tell us that Lakshmi, Vishnu's consort, took birth among the Chenchu tribe in this region.
Okay.
Narasimha, drawn to her, chose to stay in Ahobilam.
Oh, okay.
And their union is beautifully depicted in sculptures and folk songs.
Wow.
You can even see a representation of Narasimha's Chenchu bride within the temple.
Wow, that's a fascinating twist on the usual portrayals of Lakshmi and Narasimha. It seems the Chenchu tribe has a unique connection to Ahobilam that goes beyond the usual devotee-deity relationship.
Absolutely. They call Narasimha Obalasudu, meaning brother-in-law, and even today they enjoy certain privileges at the temple.
Really?
Their stories, traditions, and way of life are interwoven with the fabric of Ahobilam.
It's incredible how this temple embraces and reflects the local culture. I'm learning so much. So we've seen 5 forms of Narasimha so far. Where does our pilgrimage take us next?
We have 4 more to go.
Okay, let's go.
Next, we come to Kradakara Narasimha Swami, whose image is truly unique. He bears the face of a boar, or Varaha.
A boar that's unexpected.
It is.
By a boar.
It's believed that this form represents Narasimha's strength and ferocity,
Okay.
reminding us that even in the face of adversity,
Right.
we can tap into the courage needed to overcome challenges.
I like it.
Then, under the shade of a Karanja tree, we find Karanja Narasimha Swami
Okay.
in a seated posture, holding his iconic weapons.
It seems like each form has its own distinct personality or energy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And those distinctions are reflected not only in their iconography,
Right.
but also in the legends associated with them.
Right.
And even the specific offerings devotees make at each shrine.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
It really feels like we're not just touring shrines, but experiencing a profound spiritual journey. What comes next?
Next is Malola Narasimha Swami, whose name means beloved of Lakshmi. He embodies a more graceful or Somya form.
Okay.
Interestingly, the Utsava Murthy of Malola Narasimha, the processional deity, is kept in the custody of the Jeers of the Ahobilam Mut.
Oh, the Ahobilam Mut.
A lineage of spiritual leaders connected to the temple.
We definitely have to talk about that. It seems to play a vital role in the temple's history and traditions. But first, let's finish our pilgrimage to the 9 shrines.
Of course, ascending further, we reach Jwala Narasimha Swami, perched atop Achala Chaya Meru Hill.
Wow.
This is believed to be the very spot where Narasimha vanquished Hiranyakashipu.
I can only imagine the energy of that place.
It's said to be a site of immense spiritual power.
Yeah.
The idol here is 8 feet tall.
Wow.
Depicting the 10-armed Narasimha with Hiranyakashipu lying across his lap.
Okay.
And nearby, you'll see a small idol of Prahlada.
Right.
A silent witness to this cosmic victory.
It sounds breathtaking.
It is.
And finally, we arrive at the 9th shrine.
Yes. Our pilgrimage culminates at the banks of the Pavana River, where we find Pavana Narasimha Swami. Okay. His name comes from the life-giving waters that flow beside him.
Right.
Symbolizing the purification and renewal that come from connecting with the divine.
9 forms, 9 stories, 9 unique expressions of the divine. What an incredible journey.
It is.
But I have a feeling there's even more to explore at Ahobilam, right?
You're right. Ahobilam is more than just these 9 shrines.
Right.
It's a landscape steeped in legend.
Yeah.
There's the Ugrastamba, for example.
Okay.
It's a cleft in the mountain, believed to be the very spot from which Narasimha emerged.
So the actual spot.
The actual spot.
Wow.
It's a powerful symbol of the divine breaking through into the physical realm.
I like that.
And hidden within a nearby cave, you'll find a small shrine dedicated to Prahlada.
Oh, wow.
Known as Prahlada Metu.
That's so touching. It speaks volumes about the enduring bond between this devotee and his god.
It really does.
It's like every corner of Ahobilam holds a piece of the story.
Every corner.
And these stories are interwoven with the sacred waters that flow through the land. Ahobilam is home to numerous theatrethas, or sacred tanks.
Yes.
Each with its own legend and significance.
They are.
Oh yes, the theatrethas. I'd love to hear more about them. What kind of stories are associated with these sacred waters?
Well, there's Rektakunda, for instance.
Okay.
It's said that its reddish waters are stained from when Narasimha washed his hands after slaying the demon.
Wow, that's a vivid image.
It is.
Are there any other suvathas that stand out?
There's Lanjakonaru.
Okay.
Built by a repentant courtesan who sought atonement for her past deeds.
Oh, wow.
It's a reminder that the path to redemption is open to all who seek it regardless of their past.
That's nice.
And then there's Pavanasini, the most sacred of them all.
Okay.
It's a confluence of 13 Lahirthas.
Wow.
And its waters are believed to wash away the sins of countless lifetimes.
It's amazing how these natural features have become integral to the spiritual fabric of Ahobilam. It really feels like the entire landscape is infused with sacred significance.
And that significance is also reflected in the historical records. Remember those inscriptions we talked about earlier?
Yeah.
They offer fascinating insights into Ahobilam's past, going beyond just legends and stories.
Oh, that's right. We haven't delved into those yet. What can we learn from these inscriptions?
Well, they reveal that Ahobilam was revered by numerous dynasties throughout history.
Oh.
For instance, we have inscriptions from the Kakatiyas, a dynasty known for their architectural prowess.
Right.
One inscription tells us about Prataparudra,
Okay.
a Kakatiya king, and his devotion to Ahobalaswar, another name for Lord Narasimha.
So even powerful rulers made pilgrimages to Ahobilam just like people do today.
Just like they do today.
It's fascinating.
And then we have the Reddys.
Oh.
An inscription tells us that they constructed steps leading up to Upper Ahobilam.
Oh, wow.
Making the challenging climb easier for pilgrims.
Yeah. Talk about dedication.
That's incredible. Building steps up a mountain is no easy feat.
What about the Vijayanagar kings? Didn't they also play a significant role?
Absolutely. The Vijayanagar kings were major patrons of Ahobilam.
Okay.
They made generous endowments, minted coins bearing the emblem of Lakshmi Narasimha,
Okay.
and even contributed to the temple's architecture.
So we can actually see their influence in the structures that stand at Ahobilam today.
You can.
That's amazing.
Their legacy lives on in the very stones of the temple. And the inscriptions also tell tales of resilience.
Oh.
One describes how the temple was sacked by Ibrahim Qutbesha,
Oh, no.
a ruler of the Golconda Sultanate.
What happened?
It was a dark time for Ahobilam,
All right.
but thankfully it was later restored to its former glory by the Vijayanagar rulers.
Okay, good.
It's a reminder that even sacred sites are not immune to the tides of history.
But they can also endure and be rebuilt thanks to the devotion of those who cherish them. What I find really interesting is that these inscriptions don't just focus on grand gestures and royal patronage. They also offer glimpses into the daily life of the temple.
They do.
Yeah.
They provide fascinating details about the daily rituals, the types of offerings made,
Right.
even the roles of the temple staff.
Wow.
It's like reading a diary of the temple's inner workings. We learn about the priests, musicians, craftsmen, an entire community dedicated to serving the deity.
It's like we're getting a behind-the-scenes look at how this temple functioned centuries ago. And speaking of the temple community, we can't forget about the Ahobilam Mut, right?
The Ahobilam Mut.
It seems to play a vital role.
The Ahobilam Mut is absolutely integral to Ahobilam's spiritual legacy.
Right.
Legend has it that the first jir, or head of the Mut, was a brilliant young scholar named Srinivasacharya.
Wasn't he divinely guided to Ahobilam?
He was. He had a vision directing him to Ahobilam.
Yeah.
And while he was there, Lord Narasimha himself appeared in the form of a yogi and initiated Srinivasacharya into sannyasa.
Wow.
The renounced order.
What an incredible story. And his successors continued to lead the Mut, guiding the spiritual life of the temple community.
Exactly. The lives of these jirs are filled with tales of devotion and divine intervention.
Yeah.
For instance, there's a story about the 33rd jir, who, while traveling through the forest, encountered a group of dacoits.
Oh, no. That sounds dangerous. What happened?
The jir remained calm and asked the dacoits to allow him to finish his evening prayers before they took his possessions.
Okay.
They agreed, but as he prayed, something extraordinary happened.
I bet Lord Narasimha came to his rescue.
You know, it's lions representing Lord Narasimha's power suddenly appeared.
Wow.
And surrounded the dacoits.
Oh, no.
Terrified, they begged the jir for help.
Right.
The jir, understanding this was divine intervention, calmed the lions and the dacoits, humbled and grateful, escorted him safely out of the forest.
What a powerful reminder of Lord Narasimha's protection.
It is.
It seems like every aspect of Ahobilam is imbued with these stories of faith and divine intervention.
And those stories continue to shape the temple's traditions even today. Take, for example, the unique custom during the Brahmotsavam festival.
The Brahmotsavam, I've heard that's one of the most important festivals at Ahobilam.
It is a grand celebration. And during this festival, a member of the Padmasali community, a weaver caste, is chosen by lot to perform the symbolic marriage of the deities.
Why the Padmasali community? Is there a specific reason for that?
Well, local legends say that Lord Narasimha's consort, Chenchu was born into this community. This custom is a beautiful reflection of that legend and symbolizes the integration of local beliefs into the broader tapestry of Ahobilam's worship.
It's a beautiful example of how Ahobilam blends the divine with the human, the ancient with the present. We've talked about legends, history, inscriptions, the sacred waters, and even the local communities. But what about the hymns and poetry inspired by Ahobilam?
You're talking about the 10 pasurams or hymns? Composed by Thiru Alvar, one of the 12 Alvar saints of South India. He's the only Alvar to have sung praises specifically dedicated to Ahobilam's Lord Narasimha.
And his hymns offer a unique perspective on Ahobilam, don't they? They capture not just the deity's glory, but also the experience of pilgrimage to this sacred site.
Exactly. Thiru Alvar vividly portrays Ahobilam's challenging natural environment. The scorching heat, the rugged terrain, the wild animals lurking in the shadows.
Wow.
It was a journey that tested both the body and the spirit.
It must have taken immense faith and dedication to undertake such a pilgrimage.
It did. But for those who made the journey, the rewards were profound. Thiru Alvar also describes the awe-inspiring form of Narasimha, his victory over Hiranyakashipu, and the overwhelming sense of divine presence that permeated Ahobilam. His hymns allow us to experience the pilgrimage through his words, to feel the devotion and awe that Ahobilam inspired centuries ago.
What a journey this has been. We've explored legends, delved into history, and even witnessed the divine through the eyes of a poet. It's clear that Ahobilam is far more than just a temple. It's a living testament to faith, a place where stories and devotion have shaped the very landscape.
What's truly remarkable is how Ahobilam seamlessly blends the mythical with the historical. We have the awe-inspiring tales of Lord Narasimhar intertwined with tangible evidence from inscriptions and architecture. This layering of myth and history makes Ahobilam endlessly fascinating.
Absolutely. We started by discussing Ahobilam as a Nava Narasimha Kshetra, home to 9 forms of Lord Narasimha, each embodying a different aspect of his divine power. And we've seen how those forms are reflected in the shrines, the stories, and even the natural landscape. But what truly sets Ahobilam apart is its deep connection to the Chenchu tribe and the local legends that have become integral to the temple's identity.
And those legends are further enriched by the historical accounts we find in the inscriptions.
Yeah.
These records offer us glimpses into the lives of kings and commoners, their acts of devotion, the daily rhythms of temple life, all painting a vibrant picture of Ahobilam throughout the ages.
And through it all, the Ahobilam Mut has stood as a beacon of spiritual guidance, ensuring that the traditions and teachings associated with Ahobilam continue to flourish.
This deep dive has been a testament to the enduring power of Ahobilam.
It really has.
It's a place that speaks to something deep within us, a longing for connection with the divine, a fascination with stories that transcend time, a yearning for a landscape that embodies both power and grace.
So what does this all mean for you, our listener? What resonates most deeply with you about Ahobilam? Is it the awe-inspiring power of Lord Narasimha? The unwavering devotion of Prahlada? The unique connection with the Chenchu tribe? Or perhaps the echoes of history whispered through the inscriptions? We've offered you a glimpse into this extraordinary world. Now it's your turn to explore further, to discover your own personal connection to Ahobilam.
For those who want to delve deeper, we encourage you to explore the sources we've mentioned today. There's a wealth of knowledge waiting to be uncovered, stories waiting to be told, and connections waiting to be made.
Thank you for joining us on this incredible deep dive into the heart of Ahobilam. We hope you've been inspired to learn more, to ask questions, and to continue exploring the wonders of this ancient and sacred site. Until next time, keep seeking, keep discovering, and keep diving deep